about there. I'll give everyone a minute to jump on in here. Answering some questions today. Like we do pretty much every time we're on here. Hello, Kyle Seeger. Nice to talk to you. What's up, D? Hey, what's going on, Andrew? Maximilian, hello. Hi, Think Baseball. Hello, Ben and Random. Hi, Cyrus. Yo, what's up? Mexican, Foreign, Hammett, Luke, McKinstry. Hi, Christy Angelo. What's up? Hi, Big Mike. Hello, Bill and Aaron. While everybody's getting in here, hi, Dimitri. Hi, Paul. Hi, Chubbs. Chubbs, I loved you and Happy Gilmore. Colby, what's going on? That's a good question, Colby. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Robert. Could everyone give this video a like real quick while we're waiting for everyone to get in here? We're going to pump the likes up tonight. Everyone give the video a like if you could. Who's a better SJP athlete? I don't know. Who will win the World Series in 2021? Thank you so much for the super chat there, Logan Detweiler. Well, I mean, I think the easy pick is the Dodgers. They're the favorites. You know, I watched the White Sox today on YouTube. They did like they had like a little, I don't know, it's like 30 minutes of their spring training practice on YouTube. And man, are they loaded. White Sox are like my new favorite team, I think. They are disgustingly talented. So I'll probably still go with the Dodgers, but hey, for fun, let's go White Sox. I don't know if Puig will retire. I wouldn't think so. Adley Rushman? I think he should be a stud. What is your name? My name is Matt. Padres will be very good as well. Braves have a good chance to win too. Braves are pretty stacked as well. What happened to Bautista? Jose Bautista? He got old. I would think Puig should find a team. Madden videos. I was actually just playing Madden a few minutes ago. I put my son to bed, played a little bit of Madden. I'm 35. Average pitch speed for a 16-year-old. I'm not sure what the average pitch speed is, but you know, if you're 16, average is I mean, I don't know. Let's say 80. When are you going for 400? Well, I'm not going to get it yet. I got a ways to go till I get there. But I'll put a video up soon of me. I hit with blast motion last night. I'm going to put that video up soon. But how hard do I throw? How hard do I throw? I'm not sure. Camwood bat. We use Camwood bats. Yeah. I like them. How do you get better at baseball? You practice. Well, like anything, you practice it. What made me retire? Well, I had 4 surgeries, I think, and no one wanted to sign me again. All right, everyone, give the video a like if you could. We're going to try to get to 100 likes right away. How do you get comfortable at the plate? Well, I think you got to work on your swing, and I always felt comfortable when I felt really confident in my preparation and my swing. That helps. If you go up there and you don't feel comfortable with your swing, it's hard to get comfortable at the plate. When you start your load? Depends on the pitcher you're facing. Depends how hard they throw. The harder they throw, the earlier you got to load. The slower they throw, the later you have to load. You do all that work on the on-deck circle. If you type in the YouTube how to get your timing down, or how to time, anything about timing, my videos should pop up. Our teams are in Danvers, Massachusetts. Was I friends with Aegon? I mean, I played with him. I wouldn't say I was ever close friends with him. I wasn't up long enough, and I wasn't his teammate long enough. Give you back your beans? I don't know what you're talking about. Canes National? Yeah, they seem like a pretty good team. Who's a better SJP athlete? You asked me that already. I said I'm not sure, but sure, I'll give it to myself. I don't even know who that is. Is that the football kid? I'm not sure who that is. How do you get seen by varsity coaches? What kind of varsity coaches? High school varsity coaches? Oh, we have a super chat, everyone. Hold on one second. Super chat from M. Collins. Thank you so much, M. Collins, 1881. Your reaction to being called up to the show. I'll tell you the story real quick of me getting called up. I was in AAA. I was having a really bad season, but I was having a good last month of the year. Still never expected to get called up. Thought I'd get called up the year before, and got called into the manager's office after a AAA game, and I had no idea why he was calling me in. I figured he just had to yell at me for something. Or well, I was playing well, so I shouldn't say that. But he said he kind of congratulated me on really working hard to get back to playing well because I struggled for so long. And he said, "Congratulations, you're going to the big leagues." And my reaction at first was probably a little bit of shock, and then I guess just excitement because that's what I've been trying to do for a long time. But I was definitely surprised when I got called up. The fastest pitch I've ever seen? Probably Daniel Bard. When Daniel Bard faced me in college, our radar gun had him at 103 on one pitch when I was hitting. What's a good pitching drill? Well, there's lots of good pitching drills. It's hard for me to do drills on here, but if you just go on to our YouTube page, or just type in pitching drills on YouTube, ours should pop up. The next card I'll buy, I actually bought a Zion Williamson card last night. Not a baseball card, but basketball card. I started off with baseball cards, and I've kind of branched out. I've got some football cards, got some basketball cards. Is it true that Laura's leaving me for Richie Givens? He tried very hard. But I don't know, I'll have to ask her. I'll ask her when she comes downstairs. Josh Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. Are the Mariners ever going to get to the World Series? Actually, yes, I think they would. I think they have to eventually. How about they've got such a young, talented outfield that, there's still a lot of them are unproven. Kyle Lewis obviously had a great year, but the other guys are still unproven, but they have a lot of talent in the outfield. I think that they're in rebuilding mode, obviously. But I do think that they will be eventually, hopefully, one day good. I have not bought Patrick Mahomes cards yet. I'm actually, his card, obviously, since losing the Super Bowl, his cards have really dropped in value, most of them. I'm kind of just taking a peek at them, seeing what they're going to do, and then I'm going to decide if I would like one. I'm just trying to see when I want to pull the trigger. Hey, from Australia, how are you? What's up, Anthony? How are you too? I did pitch, and I pitched every year in high school, yep. I pitched my whole life till college. Evan, thank you so much for the super chat, Evan. Can you think of one situation when you would order your pitcher on the mound to being the opposing batter? So I've never done that. I've never told our pitcher to being somebody. I probably would if I thought a player went out of his way to try to hurt one of our players, then I wouldn't be, I probably wouldn't say hit this guy, but I'd probably say, hey, it's up to you, but if you want to hit him, I'm all for it. I did tell a coach my first year of playing, so my first year with Antonelli baseball, I was used to the game being played a certain way at the major league level and at the professional level. And so I hadn't been around travel baseball in a long time. And so I started Antonelli baseball, and we're down in Florida playing in a big tournament. And I made the mistake of bringing a 15-year-old team to a 17-year-old perfect game tournament, which our team, we had a draft pick on that team, and we were a pretty good team, but we were playing some really good teams that were 2 years older than us. And this team is beating the hell out of us. and they won't stop stealing. They just kept stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing. You could tell from the second inning that it was not going to be a game. They were way better than us. Um, and they wouldn't stop stealing. And then it got like the 10 nothing, I think, and they stole second and then they stole third. It was like the 10th steal of the game, maybe. We just couldn't throw them out. We couldn't hold them on. We couldn't do anything. It was a joke. And I was like, I'm used to playing again at a pretty high level where when you're up by a lot of runs, it was more than 10 nothing probably at the time. You don't continually steal bases. And so at the end of the inning, I ran out to coach third as their coach was running in. And I was like, hey, dude, I'm just letting you know, like, I'm not going to tell a young kid to throw at your guys, but if he does this when he gets a little bit older, like, he's going to get drilled by somebody. And the guy was like, yeah, I hear you. And he just ran off the field. That was the only time. I didn't tell him to throw it at him. I just told the guy that he would get hit eventually. Minor leagues reorganization. So I do think that there was probably too many teams before. It does think that some players aren't going to get an opportunity now. There's less teams, but I do think there was a lot of teams before. I've always thought there was too many levels to go through in the minor leagues. What would I do if a coach on your team put two players who aren't better than you at your position, and because they did this, you didn't get to play the whole day? Um, well, there's not a whole lot you could do. My thought would be I'd have to, I guess, show coach that I deserve to play. Um, I know nothing about you, so I don't know. I don't know the other players. I don't know anyone, but I would just say if he chose to put them in, and I'm assuming he didn't do it to just make you mad. He must have done it because he thought that he must either think they're better than you or give you them the team a better chance to win the game, or I don't know. Maybe he was just getting players into the game. I don't know the situation, but I probably wouldn't do anything. Do we play NEB? Yeah, we play NEB every year. Um, Last year, so I coach our 17-year-old team. We played NEB. We played the NEB Rays last year. Towards the end of the season, it was a good game. We played a really good game. We ended up beating them. I think. What was the score? I don't remember. 11-5, maybe something like that. We hit a couple home runs and we played a really solid game. Top 5 teams in baseball: Dodgers, Padres, Braves, um, Mets, White Sox. I'll go with those 5. I don't think Texas will be great this year. Yeah, maybe the Yankees too, but you can only do 5. So, what do I think? Say JJ. JJ who? JJ. Do I know Eric Sim? I don't. I've just seen him on YouTube. My favorite player in the major leagues is probably I like Mookie Betts a lot. Oh, JJ Watt. You're talking football. I thought you were talking baseball. Um, I like so many players. I don't have a favorite player. The answer is I don't have a favorite player, but I like tons of players. I like Tatis. I like Acuna. I like Soto. I like Betts and Trout. And where do I think JJ Watt's going? I wish he was going to the Patriots, but I heard that his 3 top landing spots right now are the favorites are the Packers, the Bills, and who was the last one that I heard? The Titans. I think that's what I heard were the 3 favorites for him. Do I think a lefty will ever catch in the big leagues? I mean, maybe in a long, long time, but not anytime soon. Could everyone do me a favor and smash the like button? Let's get 100. Let's get 100 likes. Working our way to 100. There we go. Thanks everybody. 100 likes. The lineup card in the back. That's my lineup card for my first major league game. So my major league debut. You can't really read it because it looks blurry on the camera, but I could read the lineup to you if you guys want me to read the lineup to you. Oh, we have a super chat from. Let's see, super chat. What's up, Matt? Hey, RC from the NYC. Thanks, RC. What's up, Matt? Hey, Laura. What's up, Chad? Hope everyone is well. What do you think of the overhaul of the entire minor league system? So we were talking about this a little bit earlier tonight. I think that I always thought that there was probably too many teams in minor league baseball, and so I'm a fan of kind of condensing things a little bit. Now, at the same time, I do feel for there's going to be some players that don't get an opportunity because there's less spots to go around. But I always thought like, geez, you got to go to rookie ball, and then sometimes it's 2 rookie balls in a short season, and a low A, and then a high A, and then a double A, and then a triple A, and then finally the big leagues. Oh my God, how many teams do we need down here? So I always thought there was a lot. Ever meet Molina? Which one? There's like 100 of them. I played against Molina, never met him. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Mike Hawk traded? Oh, you're silly. Is Juco a bad route? No, I think Juco is, depending on the player, I think Juco can be a fine route for you. So, we've had players go the Juco route. We had a player go the Juco route and get drafted. So everyone's different. Yeah, this is the actual lineup card from the actual game that's in the dugout that the manager writes on throughout the game. So see how there's like blue and red, and those are the changes, and these circles are the guys that end the innings. I never ended an inning. I never got the last out of an inning, so that's good. But yeah, that's from the actual game. So I'll tell you the lineups real quick. Then I'm going to do a super chat. So the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup was Russell Martin. Russell Martin was leading off, and then Andre Ethier was hitting second. Manny Ramirez was hitting third. James Loney was hitting fourth. Matt Kemp was fifth. Casey Blake was sixth. Blake DeWitt was seventh. Angel Barreau was 8, and Greg Maddux was pitching. And then their bench was Mike Sweeney, Juan Pierre, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Andrew Jones, Jason Repko, and then I don't know who those other guys are. So that's their position players. They were a good team that year. Not as good as they are now. For us, who started the game on the mound? Chris Young was on the mound for us, yes. How much better are today's pitchers than 30 or 50 years ago? Well, I think overall, pitchers are, there's just more good pitchers. 30, 50 years ago, there were some great, great pitchers. There's just a lot more of them now, would be my thought. Like, if you took the best pitchers from back then and put them in the game now, they'd still be really good. We've got a couple super chats, everybody. Let's go check them out. TaylorMade Man, thank you so much for the super chat. Why don't catchers block the plate today like Mike Scioscia and Gary Carter in the 1980s? So they're not allowed to block the plate. There's a rule that a catcher cannot block the plate. So you have to give the runner a place to slide and to touch the plate. And so you can't stand there like you did. In the old days, back in the day, you could literally just block the plate, and that's why guys got ran over. Buster Posey got his leg broken, and then there became the Buster Posey rule, essentially, where you can't block the plate. So that's why they don't do it anymore. And I will say my thought on this is I think catchers in the old days were nuts. I think now some people say like, oh, this is, this rule is for softies, it's for babies and all that. But you got to think about it. Like, in no other sport, not in football, not in hockey, nothing, can a person stand like this without being able to sometimes even brace themselves for contact, and a grown man is going to sprint 90 feet and try to kill you. Just imagine that if I said to you, you have to stand here and try to catch this ball, and me, maybe not me now, but me when I was 225 pounds, running really fast at you, and just everything I got will try to destroy you. That sounds insane. They used to do that in football, I guess, too, but they've gotten rid of that. In hockey, you can't do that. You can't take 30 strides and just destroy a guy who's standing there defenseless. And so, I've always thought that was a crazy baseball rule. Yeah, but getting checked in hockey, you're never going to have a guy just standing there looking like this and you can get a full steam ahead, 90 feet of skating as fast as you can and just destroy somebody. Hold on one sec. We have another super chat. Matthew Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. Have you ever played as yourself in MLB The Show? I have not. I've created my player, but I have not played as myself. I don't think I'd want to because I don't think I'm very good in the game. And I've told this story before about the first NCAA game ever to come out. This was back on Xbox. When I was in college, it was the first year ever that MLB NCAA baseball came out. And we all ran to the store to get it. We were pumped. And so we were obviously Wake Forest. And my guy was so freaking bad in that game. All my stuff was messed up. I was slow as hell. Like, it was like the opposite of me as a real player. And I remember I played it one time, and then I was like, screw this game. I never played it again because my guy was so bad. So that's probably what would happen to me if I played the Major League, MLB The Show with me. Emery HVAC, thank you so much for the super chat. Delaware loves Matt. Yeah, let's get you in the Hall of Fame in 2022. That'd be great. Thank you. I actually am going to Delaware this spring for baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't think the White Sox are overrated. I was talking about this earlier in the chat. I think the White Sox are very, very talented. Do I see more kids displaying, or do I see kids displaying more personality, like bat flip, snatch catches, and lower levels? So, I think you do see players playing differently today than you did. I think basically, you see the major leaguers, you see big leaguers playing it different, you see them expressing themselves more. And so young kids watch that and see it, and then they think that that's how you play, so then they do it. So I don't have any problems with it. I think it's good to show emotion and that. I think the only thing is that if the player is just doing it just solely just to bring attention to themselves, I probably wouldn't be a huge fan of that. But if it's just raw emotion, then I'm all for it. We have some super chats, everyone. Hold on one second. Thank you a bunch for the super chat. I think last time you told me that I messed up how I said this. AJ did. I think you said I said it wrong, or you told me just don't say it, which I just did. Sorry, but thank you so much for the super chat. I believe you played for the Yankees organization at some point. How did players feel about the facial hair thing? I did play for the Yankees. I'll tell you a quick story. I've told this story before on YouTube, but so I'm with the Orioles, and I get traded. Technically, it wasn't a trade. I was designated for assignment and then claimed by the Yankees. And so I'm just told when I'm with the Orioles, I'm told, okay, pack your stuff. You've been picked up by the Yankees. So I'm sent to AAA with the Yankees, Columbus. I show up to I drive my car up to Columbus, and I pull in the parking lot. I walk in the stadium, and it's when you get to a new team, you're supposed to just go to the manager's office. So you go in, you go to the manager's office, you introduce yourself, and that's the first thing you do. So I go in, and I always have kind of facial hair. I never like to shave. I'm never clean shaven. I've been clean shaven my whole life. So I just use like a trimmer. This is a long beard for me, longer. So it wasn't close to this. It was I shaved before because I know like Yankees want you to be shaved. So I used the trimmer. So I showed up and I walk in the clubhouse. I open the door. I walk in to the manager's office, and I open his door and I walk in, and all the coaches are in there, the manager and then the other coaches. And I say, "Hi, how you doing, Matt Antonelli?" And one of the coaches, who ends up being a really good guy, turns and goes, "Go shave your effing face." And I was like, "All right." Why now? Laura is standing outside the door watching the stream on her phone. I can hear myself talking on it. So that was my introduction to the Yankees. I was like, "Okay, yes, sir." And I turned around. I went in the bathroom. I got a clean razor, a real razor, which I'd never used before. I'm like putting shaving cream on. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to shave, and it was horrible. But yeah, that was my introduction to the Yankees. So I wasn't a big fan of clean shaving. I never tried to, but they would yell at you even if it was like, I went very low on the trimmer, but it wasn't like real clean shaven. They didn't like that. Tyler Bellavo, who's the best player on your 15U team? The best player on our 15U team. Well, we might have a couple of them in the chat right now, so I don't know if I can say. We got a lot of good players on our 15U team. Who did I watch today from our 15U team? We didn't have practice today. Gus Sunlensky he was throwing pretty hard today. Dylan Heron. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dylan. What was marijuana use like when you played? Are players now allowed to have medical cards? Anyways, love the channel. Keep it up. So when I played, you could not smoke marijuana in the minor leagues, but in the major leagues, you could. I don't know what it's like now. I'm not sure if it's the same rules, but when I was playing, you'd be fine in the major leagues. With that being said, I never smoked marijuana, and so I never saw it. It's not like you see guys smoking it. I'm sure if you're someone that does, and you're gonna probably hang out with other players that do, but I never saw it. Grow, hunt, fish. Thank you so much for the super chat. What are they using to increase spin rate? Is it ruining the game? I don't think it's ruining the game. I don't know exactly what they're using. I know that they're using some type of special concoction. I've talked about this in other videos, and I made a video kind of on this. There's always been, guys have always used substances to get some feel for the ball, because the major league balls are slick. And I made another video on this, how, I made 2 throwing errors in my major league career, both times. So I made 2 errors in my career, and both of them are throwing errors, and the ball just slipped right out of my hand. So the balls are slippery. And so pitchers will use different stuff. The most common thing is they'll put a lot of sunscreen, like a ton of sunscreen on their arm, and then they'll take rosin and they'll mix it together, and that creates like this sticky thing. So if you ever see a pitcher, they'll do this a lot during the game. They're just kind of getting that sunscreen and rosin on their hands to get a little bit of tack. But some pitchers are using other things that create, even more stickiness. And you've seen some players use pine tar. You've seen some players get kicked out of games for that. So I don't know what exactly everyone's using, but I know that guys are always trying to use something. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward how strict they get with this. at this point right now, if you put like a glob on your neck, they're gonna kick you out of the game. But if you've got some sunscreen here, you got a little bit of something here or there, usually they'll let it go. Jackson White, thank you so much for the super chat. Is Adderall safe for a freshman to use before games? I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to give you any advice on Adderall or any type of drugs or anything like that. So I know nothing about the safeness of it. Don't listen to me. I do appreciate your super chat, Jackson, but I don't want to give you medical advice. The Vicinity, thank you so much for the super chat. When you were put on when I put on that 40 pounds of muscle in the off season, can you give an example of what your workout splits were, and did you put it on fairly easily? So here's the thing with me. I can put on and lose weight very easily. It was not uncommon for me at the beginning of my career. For instance, in college, I started my first game my junior year at 216 pounds, and I probably weighed 185, 190 by the time the season ended. I can go up and down very quickly. Like, I started eating a little bit more last month because I wanted to get stronger for my road to 400. I've already put on like 10 pounds. So I don't know why. If I eat a lot and work out, I'll put on a ton of weight. If I don't eat and work out, I'll lose a ton of weight. So my workout splits during that time was I would usually work out. I guess it was a little bit different every year, but I would say the main thing I would do is I would break it up into 3-day workouts, and then I would take a day off. So I would go basically like all push stuff, so chest and triceps. Then I'd do a pull day, back and biceps, and then I would do a leg day to be as simple as possible. And then I would take a day off, and then I'd go back again. And so I would do that. And the only secrets for me working out was I'd lift as hard as I could. My strategy was always that I was going to kick the ever-living crap out of myself. And so I did a lot of like to failure stuff. If I was doing, let's say 8 or let's say 6 reps, on the 6th rep, it would be basically like I can barely get the weight up and it's going to crush, And so that's how I did it. Never in if I was doing 6 reps or 8 reps or whatever, would the 6th rep be like this? Because then I didn't feel like I was straining myself enough. So I did that with pretty much everything, and then I ate a lot of food. By a lot of food, I didn't count calories. I know what I typically eat, and I just ate way more than that. I'd add a second dinner. I'd add a shake, 2 shakes. So that's how I did it. Man, we have so many super chats, I can't keep up with them all. Swilling on Suds, thank you so much for the super chat. How much mac and cheese do you think you can eat in one sitting? You want to know the real answer? 0. I hate mac and cheese. So I will not eat any mac and cheese. In fact, you could put mac and cheese in front of me right now and tell me to eat the bowl of mac and cheese for $100. I'd say no. You could say $1,000. I'd say no. I don't know what number. I don't know how much money you'd have to give me to get me to eat mac and cheese. It would be a very high number, because I can't even like look at mac and cheese or smell mac and cheese and not go, I hate mac and cheese. I have a very weird palate. I hate mac and cheese. I hate ham and cheese. Makes me want to throw up right now thinking about that. I don't like peanut butter. There's a lot of things I don't like. EJ Slem, thank you so much for the super chat. Did you ever have a gay teammate in pro baseball? I don't believe I ever had an openly gay teammate. I don't believe. I'm sure I did, but not that I know of. Tom Kim, it says you took away the message. Thank you for the super chat, but it says you took away the question. What do coaches look for at tryouts? So it really depends on the team that you are trying out for. Like every team, every age is going to look for something different. But ultimately, I think if you keep it as simple as possible, they're looking for a player that's going to help them you know, help their team win. And so, it's hard to say. But when I'm looking at tryouts, I'm looking at players. I know how talented our players are on the team previously. Do we have players here that are more talented? Um, I'm looking at work ethic. I'm looking at kind of personality. Does this player fit well with the team? Am I gonna is the player coachable? Am I going to enjoy coaching him? Or well, we only have baseball teams right now, but am I going to enjoy it? Is he going to be a pain? Those are the type of things I'm looking for. Hey Matt, question: what does it mean when someone drops their elbow in their swing? I've heard all my life, even when I was told I was doing so. I'd go to a coach and they'd give me different answers. Dropping your elbow in your swing. So I I have some videos on this, but let's just make it real simple. It's hard for me to put my whole body in here. Um, when you swing, when you get ready to hit, your elbow is going to be behind your hands like this. It should be. Some players do this. That's not good. So when you start to make this move, we're going to start to turn the bat. This elbow is going to work under, and your lead arm is going to work up. You're going to make this move right here. So your elbow dropping, I don't know. It could mean that they think you're getting here too early. Um, it could be that they don't know what they're talking about. You know, you shouldn't be here, so you can't do this. Your elbow has to drop in, or else you're going to push the bat. You also can't. You don't want to make this move where your elbow gets out in front of the hand. So it's a complicated subject. I've made some videos on it. It's hard to really answer without like going into a lot of detail. Swollen on Suds, thank you so much for the super chat. Why do you hate mac and cheese? Is it the texture, taste? Do you hate cheese? I'm very intrigued about this. Um, so this is an interesting topic. So I'm not a fan of cheese, but I am on just certain things. So like, if you just gave me a stick of cheese or just a slice of American cheese or cheddar cheese or whatever, I'm not going to eat it. I don't like that. I can't mac and cheese. I don't like. So starting off, I don't like cheese that much. But I do love pizza. So this is the weird thing. I don't like cheese, but I love pizza. I love hamburgers, but will not eat a cheeseburger because I hate cheese on hamburgers. Um, I like nachos, but I don't like the nacho sauce, like the hot sauce, cheese sauce. No, I don't like that. So me and cheese have an interesting relationship. It's complex. Um, Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Depends what it's on. But yeah, the mac and cheese, the texture kind of bothers me a little bit too, I guess. Jackson White, thank you again for the super chat. Do you often change your batting lineup around each game based on performance, or do you set a stone lineup that doesn't change much? So I try not to change it, a lot. Um, some people will like make a lineup, and then if one guy gets 2 hits, the next game they're putting them higher in the lineup, and if a guy goes 0 for 4, they put him lower in the lineup. Like I'm not going to do that. I do think you're going to set your lineup to where usually you're going to put your best on base guys early. You're going to put your best hitters at the top of the lineup essentially, and there's going to be a point. I'm going to kind of set that, and I'm going to see how the guys do. And even if players at the bottom of the lineup do really well, I probably won't change it right away. But there's going to come a point. I don't know how many. It depends how many games are in the season. There's going to come a point where I'm going to say, okay, this is what I thought the lineup should be based on how I thought players would play. But they're not playing that well. These guys might be playing better than I thought. These guys aren't playing as well. And then I'll make a change because, like I said, I want the guys that get on base the most to be at the top of the lineup, but I want my best hitters at the top of the lineup. And sometimes I anticipate this player is going to be one of our best hitters, but they might not be. And so I'll change it up. Sea Dogs Hufflepuff, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you recall facing any guys who had below average velocity, but their other traits made them very hard to hit? Yeah, plenty of times. I mean, I faced Greg Maddux right there, and he had below average velocity, but his ball went like this. So, I faced some guys that threw a lot of cutters. The ball doesn't come in hard, but it cuts. Typically, if you're not going to throw hard, then the number one thing is those guys usually have a lot of movement. You're not going to see a whole lot of guys that don't throw hard and throw straight. So the ball's going to move. It's going to sink. It's going to run. It's going to cut. And then they're going to have good off speed. Typically, guy doesn't throw very hard. He'll probably have a good changeup, which now makes his fastball appear faster. You know, those guys can throw it with the same arm action and same release point, and then they usually have good command. So they, you know, not going to live in the middle of the plate as much. They're going to be able to move the ball in and out. So yeah, I've faced plenty of those guys. Zach Kiffner, thank you so much for the super chat, Zach. But there's no question here. It says message retracted. So the message was taken away apparently. I don't know why, but it's not here. So maybe if someone could help me, maybe in the regular chat, if you could put the question again, I will answer that. Could everyone give the video a smash that like button? That's what I'm going to start using that word. Smash that like button. That's what I heard all the cool kids on YouTube say. So I'm going to say that. We got to get to 200 likes. We got 174. Let's see if we can get to 200. Taylor Made Man, thank you so much again for the super chat. When a player loses an altercation like Bautista versus Odor, Nolan Ryan versus Robin Ventura, does that affect the team and mental focus of a player that lost the fight? Does his own team rib him for losing? Well, in those cases, I mean, so Bautista, you know, those cases are rare where you're going to get like literally pounded in the face. And like the Nolan Ryan Ventura one, like a headlock, just like, you know, like all this stuff. Those are very rare. I've never been in a baseball fight like that before. I've been in I've been in a couple of bench clearing altercations, but only one bench clearing brawl where there was actually punches being thrown. Nobody got hit hard enough that at least that it stood out that people would make fun of the guy. So it's hard for me to answer this question. When things happen on the field, there's embarrassing things that happen and guys will give players a hard time. You know, getting punched in the face by somebody, though, I don't know if players are going to give you a hard time for that one. I guess if you survive it and you're fine, then maybe they will. But I would say most players do, you know, they'll make fun of teammates and give them a hard time about stuff. Tom Kim, thank you so much for the super chat. There's no question there, Tom, but I appreciate the super chat. 86 to 89, topping at 90 is very good. Yes, please. Matt, I've heard people say hips first or hips and hands together. How should fire my swing after launch position? So for me, what happens is you get ready to hit, and now your leg's going to start to turn. So your back leg's going to start to turn, and when your leg starts to turn, you're going to start to feel your upper body work back like this, and you're going to feel palm up, palm down position. And when it happens properly, your leg starts to turn, and this is working this way, so you get that separation between, you know, your leg and really everything above it. So it'll appear that the hips are going first and then the hands are coming. You can't do it though if you just say like hips, hands. Like some people do that, and you'll never, you're not going to create much bat speed. So you have to learn kind of how to do it. I have a lot of videos on this, so go and check them out on YouTube. But I would say it's leg turning, and then everything above that kind of coming next, like a whip. What do I think about the Texas Rangers this year? I don't think they'll be that great, but do you have a favorite story with Blake DeWitt? No, I don't have a favorite story. I played against Blake DeWitt a good amount of my career, but I don't remember any like special stories about him. I don't see MLB going to 7-inning games, no. Can anyone beat LA this year? Well, they'll beat them in some games, but I mean, LA should win the World Series. I think they're most talented team. Most talented team doesn't always win, though. I've got this beaten into my son's brain so bad. It's so funny. Because he used to always ask me in every sport, you know, like he asked me, well, he still asks me, but he knows the answer. Why did the Chiefs lose to the Bucks? Or why did the anytime a better team, because he looks at records and he just thinks that records mean that the higher record should always win. I've had to explain it to him so many times, and now he knows. I always say, when he says, why did this team beat this team when the other team was better? And I go, you know why? And he goes, because it's not the better team that wins, it's a team that plays the best. And I say, yes, correct. It's not the best team that wins, it's the team that plays the best. And so the Dodgers are the best team, I think. I think most people think, but doesn't mean they'll win. I think that the odds are in their favor, but you know, you get the Dodgers up against the Padres in a series, you get them up against the Mets in the series, you get them up against the Braves in the series. Like, is it possible that the Braves beat them 4 games before they do? Like, yeah, I think that could happen. I think the Dodgers will make the playoffs, and then, hey, you got to get in the playoffs, anything can happen. I like Bo Bichette a lot. I think he's a really good player. Could he be an all-star this year? Yeah, I think he could. Oh, I have a super chat, everyone. Hold on one second. Devon Short, hopefully I said that right. Thank you so much for the super chat. My son is playing his first year in high school. He's a sophomore. It's a small school, 1A. Are there any benefits for playing in baseball small schools? Benefits for playing baseball in baseball small schools. Well, I think every school is different, but I think that if you're playing in a small school, I would assume that you probably have a little bit better chance to play. You know, less kids, less competition, more chance to play. You play, you get to, improve your skills. You got to play to get better. And so I would say that, he should have an opportunity to play more. Potentially start, again, less competition. Again, that's not always the case. There's some small schools that are really good. But that would be the first thing that kind of stands out for me. But every school is so different. Like where I'm from, there's some really big schools that aren't that good. There's some small schools that are really good. So I coach high school, and for Massachusetts, we're one of the best, typically one of the best high school baseball schools in the state. And we've got we're considered probably a big school. I think we have, this is a guess, but maybe 1,200 boys at our school or something like that. So it's a lot of kids, and it's a private school, and kids come to play baseball. So, if you're playing at our school, it's a little tougher to play. It's a little tougher to make the team. But if you do make the team, you're playing with really good players all the time. You're going to get pushed. You're going to be facing good players in practice every day. So great competition. That should help you get better as well. So I guess there's pluses and minuses, and to both the smaller school and the bigger school. GRCYDM95, thank you so much for the super chat. Any former players you knew or know of that you think could have been superstars talent-wise but lacked the drive commitment, so they settled for less? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm probably not going to name any. I don't even know if I could think of any right now, but I do think that every player is different. I think I've played with some players that are just fanatical about just being the best player possible. Like, think of like a Tom Brady. Obviously, it's just football, but there's certain players like Tom Brady who dedicate every minute of their walking life, every minute of their life is dedicated to being the best player possible, right? Like Tom Brady. I don't know Tom Brady at all. I'm just going by what I hear. He's going to do everything he can to be the best player possible. Not everyone's willing to do that. I've actually heard Tom Brady say that, he's going to win because he literally dedicated his life to football, and other players aren't willing to do that. And I agree with him. I think that not all players dedicate their life to being the best possible player ever. And so, I think everyone, some players are more driven than others. Some players are more committed than others. Some players love playing more than others. Some players love practicing more than others. So I think there's a lot of examples of that in every sport. And not just in every sport, in everything. Usually people that are great in their field are committed. They love it. They're dedicated. They're driven. So Joseph E, thank you so much for super chat. Are hitters so much better now than the average hitter in Babe Ruth's time? Well, I think yes, hitters are better now. I think pitchers are better now. I think everything is better now. I just think as time goes by, I mean, just think of the size and strength and athleticism of players now considered back then. Like back then, in those days, like you weren't working out very much. You weren't lifting weights. You didn't have personal trainers. After the game, what did you had a hot dog and a beer? Like you might have had the hot dog and beer before the game. You know, now there's supplements and the training regimens are so much different, and so it's just a totally different game. Everything's different. So, um, and that's for every sport, right? They're still great players, but that's why it's hard to compare players from totally different time periods because the resources are so different. The game is so different. It's hard to compare them. Tom Kim, thank you so much for super chat. Do you still have the pregame scouting reports? I do not have any of my pregame scouting reports. I don't know what I did with them. Back then, they were all they were all paper. They were printed out and put in your locker. I don't know where mine are. It would have been cool if I kept them. I do have a lot of notes from my times in the major leagues. Like I used to take a lot of notes. I'm trying to think actually where they are right now. But I used to come in and write down like a lot of what the manager said, what the coaches said, what we did at practice. I did that for all my years because I knew I was going to coach, and so I tried to keep all that information. With the baseball bat bros, yeah, I might eventually. Is Brian a good baseball school? Yeah, it's a very good baseball school. Yep. My what's your favorite type of music? I like all music, but I would say for baseball, rap music seems to get me the most pumped up. When can we expect that Antonelli Finance channel? I actually messed around with the Antonelli Finance channel, and then I just didn't have enough time to really dedicate enough to it. I made a couple of videos on some of the things I invested in. Hope you have a bunch invested in Tesla. I do have a bunch invested in Tesla, thankfully. Is 68 good for an 11-year-old? Yeah. We don't do a whole lot of velocity stuff. I mean, I guess we do track it a little bit, but I don't get overly concerned with young players in velocity because so much of it depends on like how big you are. You have one 11-year-old that's this big, you have one 11-year-old that's that big. It's like, so this kid says, I throw 52, is that good? And this kid says, I throw 52, is that good? Like, if they're both throwing 52, like this little kid, like you could say, like, yeah, that's really good. And this kid that's like 6'3" at 11, like, no, that's probably not very good. You're humongous. I think we have a super chat, everyone. Hold on. Can everyone smash the like button again? I'm going to keep saying that. Smash the like button. We got 220 likes. I think we can get to 300 likes, I think. So we have 231 people in here right now. 233 people in here right now. If everybody hits the like button, we might get, we could get close to 300. McAnthony Valdez. McAnthony. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Matt, I was at the University of Miami and got cut. Struggling batting. 280 in Juco. What should I do to be at the D1 level again? Well, I know it's been a tough, with COVID and in like the college baseball has been kind of a mess because of it. But to get back to D1 baseball, I think probably the best thing or the easiest thing is not easy, but I think being able to go out in Juco, wherever you are in Juco, and just play well and show that you can succeed at your level and help a Division I team win. And then, I'm not, because I'm not an expert in, I don't know if I'm an expert in anything, but in trying to get from Juco to a Division I college, because we work with mostly just high school kids trying to get them to college. But I would assume the process is pretty similar. Like, you've got to show that you're a good player. And it actually is probably a little bit easier because depending on your JUCO, especially if it's a decent league and you played at Miami, you said, so it has to be, you must be at a decent JUCO. if you show that you can succeed at that level and play well, I'm sure coaches will take notice. And again, I don't know the rules on how you can reach out to schools and if you can and if you need I don't know all that stuff. Unfortunately, my time coaching in college, we never brought in any JUCO guys, so I never really had experience trying to get JUCO guys to college, to D1 schools. Do I play any musical instruments or any other creative hobbies? So I do have a guitar, and I played a little bit when I was younger. And my hobbies outside of baseball are my hobbies are all sports. I just love sports. I love football, basketball, baseball. I like playing sports. And then outside of that, my hobbies are I like investing. I like the stock market a lot. That would probably be my next biggest hobby. And I've gotten really into collecting cards, sports cards. What's my opinion of perfect game? We go to perfect game tournaments, and I like perfect game tournaments. Um, I think they do a good job. They can get rather expensive, but Casey Thinker, thank you so much for the super chat. There's no question here, Casey. I'm not sure if you wanted to send me one or not. I appreciate the super chat, but maybe put the question in the regular chat if you wanted to ask me one. Hopefully, I see it. Swill it on suds. Thank you so much again for super chat. Thanks for answering my questions about mac and cheese. One last question: what baseball video games did you like to play as a kid? Um, so as a kid, when I was real young, what was it called? Baseball Simulator, maybe. There was a game when I was really young that was really cool. I think it was Baseball Simulator. And then I played Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest. Was that what it was called? That was a big game for me. And then those were the big ones. What else? Those are the ones that come to mind as a kid that I really liked. DC, thank you so much for the super chat. The guy who gave you the super chat earlier, but had his question retried, is asking this. Oh, thanks, DC. Dirk, that's very nice of you. Dirk Hayehurst mentioned you in his books. Have you read them, and do you keep in touch with him? Yeah, so I was Dirk's roommate when he was writing those books. I was his teammate and his roommate, so I saw him in the clubhouse every day writing those books. And what was the question about him again? I have read them. He actually sent me. He sent me all the books, and for parts of the book that I was in, I think basically I had to give like permission for him to be able to use my name. Laurie gets mad sometimes because in one of the books, in the first one, he makes me sound. Well, you'd have to ask her how he makes me sound. But I have read them. He's a very good writer. I did keep in touch with him, but I actually haven't talked to him now in a couple of years. How old was I when I got my first home run in Little League? I was 12. I never hit a home run in 10 or 11. When I got to 12, I finally hit a home run. And I remember it vividly. I hit it to center field, and it just got over the fence. It was the greatest feeling of my life. So, I wasn't a big kid in Little League, no. Launch angle thoughts? Um, So launch angle or ball flight has always been a thing. We've talked about ball flight my whole career. Although when I played, at least for the Padres, the talk on ball flight was much lower. They want us to hit the ball a lot lower. Now they want you to hit the ball a little higher. But other than that, I think it makes sense. How tall is John Madden from Hugo Pro? He looks like a giant. I'm not sure how tall he is. 6'3", maybe? He's a little bit taller than me. Most challenging pitch for me to hit was probably a splitter. Split finger fastball is a very tough pitch to hit. Plant-based diet? Is that what I said? Plant-based? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I love chicken and steak and pork and So the hotel story from the book is true. Every story is true. Yeah. Yep. Is that the one from Salt Lake City? Is that what you were talking about? I was with Dirk for that. I do coach at St. John's. Yes, Brady. And do I know Mike Montville? I don't think I do know Mike. Best advice to a struggling hitter. Well, we could go in a lot of different directions. I'll say this. This is my advice to you. There's three things that could be causing you to struggle. There could be more, I guess, but I'll give you three. First one is pitch selection. Are you swinging at good pitches? Look at this first. If you're swinging at bad pitches, don't matter how good your swing is, you can't hit. So get a good pitch to hit. Second thing, I switched to pitching. That's funny, Mike. Second thing, timing. Are you ready to hit? If you're not ready to hit, then you got to get ready earlier, right? But you've got to be ready to hit. And a lot of players, their swings don't work because they're not physically ready. They're not loaded on time and ready to hit, so you can't hit. And then third is mechanics, and you go to mechanics. A lot of people go to mechanics first, but do the other two things first, and then go to mechanics. When it comes to mechanics, you could be struggling because your mechanics could be out of whack. I can't tell you what the issue is because I can't see you, but you have to find someone that can help you with that. Unless you're able to educate yourself enough on the swing to do that, which I don't think for most players that's really hard to do. So you'd have to find someone to help you with that. Hopefully that helps. Do I think height matters in baseball? Yeah, I think height matters, but it doesn't mean that you can't play if you're not tall. But if you look in the major leagues, you're going to find a lot more 6'2" guys than you are 5'6" guys. So height does matter, but just if you are 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", you can still play in the major leagues. Thoughts on Tesla? I love talking Tesla. Well, I'll say this. I bought Tesla a long time ago. I bought Tesla a couple years ago, and it's gone up a lot of percent since I bought it. And I've been really happy with it. And I haven't sold a single share. And I think over the next 5 to 10 years, Tesla will be a lot higher in 5 to 10 years than it is now. If you can talk to me in 5 to 10 years, if you remember, and when I'm still doing YouTube lives, I would be shocked if Tesla is not much higher. I think Tesla is on the path to change a lot. They already are, but they're on the path to change a lot of things in the world. And they will make a lot of money for it. It's not what you buy at, it's what you sell it for. True, but it also is what you buy at. If I bought it at $2, then, it'll be a lot easier to make money than if I buy it a lot higher. Good drills to keep your head on the ball during your swing. Well, keeping your head on the ball is, you could just be doing this, but a lot of times it's something else in your swing that's causing you to do that. And so I don't know if there's a secret drill for that. But, hey, Gavin Goich, what's up? One of my best baseball cards. I'll let you know in a second. But I would, better than me telling you, just go to our YouTube channel. You're on it right now. When I get off of here, and just type in how to keep your head on the ball. I bet you one of my videos shows up, and that'll tell you what you need to know. Did I buy GameStop? I did not. Favorite BESR or Besser bat? Hell, I don't even remember. It feels like a million years ago. What did I use? An Exogrid or something like that? I don't know. I went to Wake Forest. Hey man, I have 3 questions. Can I play baseball in college without playing in high school? And can an umpire get thrown out of a game? I'm not sure if an umpire can get thrown out of a game. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. What happens if you have a bad umpire? You got to deal with it, unfortunately. And then, can you play high school ball without? What can you play college ball without high school? Without playing in high school? Yeah, technically you could. We've had players that have been cut from their high school team but played summer ball, travel ball with us, and have gone on and played in college and been very successful in college. So, yeah, you can. They got cut from the varsity team and literally thought like, "There's no chance we play in college." And I was like, "Yes, there is. I guarantee you're playing college." If you played on a high school team that was the greatest high school team of all time, you might not make the team. But if you go play summer ball or go to a showcase, go to a college camp, and you're a really good player, you're gonna play college baseball. Would I like to go to Mexico to play baseball? I've never have. Right now, I mean, I don't really want to go anywhere to play baseball because I'm old, but I would have gone back in the day, yeah. The name of Dirk's books, we'll just type in Dirk Hayehurst. He's got a bunch of books. I can't even remember what they're all called. You throw 94 and you're 20. What are your options? Well, you could try to go play independent ball. Um, you're 20. Have you gone to college? I guess you can go play in college. Um, you go try out for, well, I don't know, with COVID and everything, I don't know how tryouts are working for professional teams. All right, everybody. I'm gonna answer one more question, and then I had a lot of baseball today, and tomorrow I have like 10 hours of baseball, so I'm gonna get going to bed here in a second. We'll do one more question. Could everyone hit the like button one more time? See if we can get the 300 likes. That would be great. How much do MLB players spend on off-season training? That'll be our last question. Um, so everyone spends a little bit different, I guess. For me, I used to, I had a trainer back when I played, so, but usually what happens, like, my trainer would technically train me for free. I'm assuming because then the facility can say that they have, a professional or major league player training there, brings in other players. I guess you call it tip my trainer, but technically, he would work me out. The facility would work me out for free. Um, and then you're gonna have to pay for supplements, although that's not a ton of money. And that's really it, I guess. So it's not too much money. You hear of some guys. It all depends what you want to put into it. Like you hear guys like LeBron James, and I heard LeBron James spends $1 million a year on his body. Like Tom Brady probably spends a lot of money on his body. When I was playing, I did not spend that much money on my body. I didn't have a personal masseuse and a chiropractor and all that stuff. But all right. Oh, guys, before we go, and girls, we need 3 more likes to get to 300. Bethany, please do more videos, live videos. So I'm trying to do one live video a week. So that's what I'll keep trying to do. But anyways, I heard of players opting out this season. And Desmond opted out, I believe, again. At least so far he has, but I haven't heard of anyone else. What round pick was I in the MLB? I was first round pick. Okay, that's all we have, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out and asking your questions. I enjoyed answering them. Hopefully, I helped you all out with those answers. And a lot of the questions that everyone's asking, if you type them in the YouTube, I bet you have already answered them. I've made like 3,000 videos on YouTube, I think. And so I've got a lot of them in there. So just type it in and my video will probably come up. And then you can watch that tonight while you're trying to go to sleep. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. And we'll be on again at some point next week answering your questions again. We will talk to you